there are so many great defensive players in the NFL. And I've watched guys come out of the draft over the last couple of years, Young and Bosa. All these kids really have changed all these different organizations like Washington, like San Francisco. Is there a particular player that stands out to you in the NFL or right now in college football that you can compare and contrast your skills to?
Yeah. Is it okay if we go a little back into the past?
Absolutely.
All right. So one of my all-time favorite NFL players is Reggie White. Right. I try to emulate his quickness, his speed off the ball. Just the heaviness in his hands, just the all-out violence that he brings to the team and to the game of football. Because seeing that and seeing the amazing things that he does is just like, wow. You just step back for a moment and you say, I want to be like him. And from the beginning of my high school career, that's what I've tried to accomplish. But I still think that I'm far from it, and I want to keep going.
Well, I'll tell you this. Everybody says that Lawrence Taylor is the greatest defensive lineman, the greatest defensive player of all time. I beg to differ. The greatest defensive player of all time was Reggie White. I've said that for years, and I loved Reggie. It's a shame he's gone. Sleep apnea. I too have sleep apnea. 1 out of every 3 Americans have sleep apnea, and they don't even know it. It's crazy. And I actually found out recently, I would say about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that I have sleep apnea. I wake up, my brain wakes up 162 times when I close my eyes. 162 times. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, that's outstanding, but in a bad way.
No, it's a bad way, and I have to wear a mouthpiece every time I go to bed. I don't like those machines, by the way. Those machines are terrible. They make too much noise. I tried that stuff. I tried the nose. I tried the mouth. I put a mouthpiece in. It holds my tongue into place, and hopefully I'll live a long-lasting life. But rest in peace to the great Reggie White. Speedy?
All right. Going back to your high school career, any game that you've ever played, your favorite game you ever played in, the craziest game you ever played in, and maybe your favorite play. Were you involved in any trick plays as a defensive tackle or lining up as a running back like Ridley and Refrigerator Perry?
Yeah, so one of my favorite games that I've ever played in was my 8th grade year, and it was for our Little League Super Bowl, right? So it was like the championship game for our Little League, or I don't know if it was the 8th grade or 6th grade. It was sometime then. But it was a whiteout blizzard. Like I could not see about 5 yards in front of me. And there was already at least a foot or 2 of snow on the ground. And of course, we played in it. We had tons of fun. And basically, we lost by 3 points because our punter failed to punt the ball. It got blocked, and they ran it down to the 5-yard line, and that really sucked. But that wasn't my favorite play. One of my favorite plays was this past season, where me and another one of our defensive linemen at my high school, we were running just a normal play. It was a pass play against Duchenne, and I think it was one of the last games of the season too. That's right, because I just got back from an injury, and we both get off the ball. We both throw a move on our man, and on the film you can see us go and just sandwich the quarterback, like almost perfect timing. We both hit him, and I got whiplash from it. He got he got knocked out, he said, whenever he hit him. And the quarterback didn't play another down, of course. But that was probably one of my favorite plays, ending the season with a bang type thing.
Well, I will say this, and I before we get into the crazy questions, because I'm sure Jillian told you I like to ask some serious crazy questions. Is there a particular part of your game that really stands out? You say you have heavy hands and you want to implement your game from Reggie White. And Reggie White did have hard hands. And if anybody has never watched Reggie White, and you weren't even alive to actually have the opportunity to watch him live.
That's right.
Reggie White was a guy that was just absolutely, I think the best defensive lineman is not necessarily the fast ones. It's the guys that know how to use their hands. That's what it is. The secret to playing on the defensive line is hand checking. Absolutely knowing how to maneuver your body through the guard, maneuver your body through the tackle. That's probably the most difficult part of being a pass rusher. That's why all these guys that were very successful in college, a lot of them weren't successful in the NFL because a lot of them just used really speed and athletic ability to get to the quarterback in college. In the NFL, you have to have all those. You need speed, you need agility, you need strength with your hands, and you have to have, and everybody says it, every single defensive line coach says this. If you don't have good hands and good feet, you'll never succeed in the game. You'll never succeed in the NFL. So is there a particular part of your game that stands out over everybody else's?
Like you said, I use my hands very well, and I have a quick first step. Getting off the ball quickly and being able to engage your man in the snap of your fingers is a great skill to have, because it gives you the edge on every play. And being able to impose your will through your hands, whether it be pulling, pushing, swimming by, ripping pass, washing, just everything under the sun that you can think of, has to attribute to fast, heavy hands, powerful, and just overall quickness. You can always train that, but like you said, if you don't know what you're doing, then you better learn quick, because you fail.
Well, Speedy needs to learn quick, because hand checking is not something that he's very good at. There's a lot of things he's not very good at, but hand checking is definitely on the lower part of that skill. All right, so I'm going to ask you 3 crazy questions. After that, I'm going to permit you to ask whatever question you want to me and the great and wonderful water boy over there. Are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right, first question, and I always ask this, the first question of the day is, boxers or briefs, and why? What would you rather wear?
I always wore boxers because, they're just more comfortable.
You like them to hang, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't like that. And again, I say this to you young guys, because when I played high school football, we had, there was no such thing as like these jock underwear that they have that you can stick your cups in. They didn't have that. They had jock straps where you had to wear them with really no underwear, because if you wore boxers on them, they crink up your ass and you'd be running around the field and trying to stick your hand in your pants when you wore. So I had to go I would go practically butt ass naked under my football stuff. So my pads and everything, it was terrible. So I'm very surprised as a defensive lineman that you would wear boxers, but that's just me. Everybody's got their prerogative. Anyways, second question: favorite snack to eat before a game, and why?
I have a tradition before every game to eat a Snickers bar. It started basically whenever I first started playing football. My dad would bring me a Snickers bar, or one of the other coaches would bring me a Snickers bar, and that just sort of became the thing. And that reminds me of one of my other buddies who always ate a Hershey bar before every game. And, we just went hand in hand with that.
Well, here's the deal I'm going to have for you, my friend. I do this with some of your recruits, and I'm going to give you one. Since you mentioned a Snickers bar, and I do like my Snickers too. Your first year in 2021, right? That's your first year in for Notre Dame?
Yep.
If you start, okay, I don't know if you're going to start, and maybe your second year. If it's not your first year, it'll be your second year. If you start, if you get 4 or more sacks in your first season, I will send you a month's supply of Snickers bars.
Deal.
Now remember, Speedy, you're writing these all down, right, Speedy? Because I'm keeping tabs on this. I'm supposed to send a pie of pizza to these two recruits, half a pie of pizza, because they've never had New York pizza. The only problem with that is it's very hard to send pizza to another state. By the time it gets to them in 3 days, it's probably bad. So I'm actually going to reach out to them and figure out a way of something else that I can send to them, because I can't send pizza over there. I was trying to find a Ziploc bag, a Ziploc bag that I can send for 2 or 3 days, special air. But why would I do that? By the time it gets in, the crust is so hard. When you stick it in the oven or the microwave, it's not going to be worth eating. You're not even going to notice the taste of a great New York City pizza. So,
Right.
unfortunately, I can't do that. But for you, candy bar is easy to do. I can get you a 30-day supply of Snicker bars. So if you get 4 or more sacks, Speedy's writing it down right now, right, Speedy, Mr. Waterboy? All right. If you do that, I am going to send you a supply of Snicker bars.
All right. But what's the catch?
No catch. Listen, there's no catch. Here's the catch. When you get drafted, me and the great water boy over there are invited to your draft party. We've been invited to about 100 draft parties. Okay, 100. So we're going to go. You know what we're going to do? We're going to jump ship. If it's in New York and the draft, if there's no more COVID or COVID seizes down and all these kids come over here because they want to hear their name and shake that Ginger's ugly noggin, I say Goodell because I can't stand Roger Goodell. I just can't. I just looking at that ugly noggin makes me sick to my stomach. But I mean, it's everybody's dream to go up there on the stage and put on the hat that drafts them and floss the jersey that has a 0 on it or a 1 and shake the commissioner's hand. So I only wish the best for you guys. And I hope that I'm there to experience that with you guys. And then maybe if you need an agent, you can hire me. I mean, I can work up some magic when it comes to contracts. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
No, you just tell your father, me and your father could be your half agent. I could be your half agent. We'll work the phones, and I could definitely get you the best deal possible because I don't shut up. So eventually, if you're a good player, I can get you your money. That's for damn sure. Last question, buddy. Now, I don't know if you have a girlfriend. Do you have a girlfriend?
No, not right now.
Oh, you're the lucky one. You're going to Notre Dame being a single man. You're going to have some fun, my friends.
That's right.
You are going to have some fun. I'll tell you this right now. Maybe I'll come on. I'm 38 years old. I shouldn't be partying. I've been to a bunch of college parties in my time. Okay. I've been to a bunch of them. I've been to Florida State party. I've been to all different parties. UNLV. I was in UNLV when I was DJing out there. I went to a bunch of parties over there. Very, very fun. And the women over there in Notre Dame, I hear they're rock solid, baby. Anyways, blondes or brunettes, and why?
I'm gonna say brunettes, just because I prefer it.
Brunettes with blue eyes?
Sure.
Brunettes with blue eyes. That's what we're going to talk about. Gabe, Mr. Gabe over here, Mr. Rubio is absolutely ready for the brunettes with blue eyes. So any brunettes that are listening to the show right now, we got a single guy, defensive tackle, 6'5", 285 pounds of brute muscle. He's a beef patty. That's what we call him. Anyways, Gabe, ask us away. You got 3 questions to ask us. Any questions you have?
All right. So my first question is, are you always that angry towards Speedy?
I am always angry towards Speedy. Yes. It's hard. And Gabe, I am a perfectionist. And anybody that watches this show, which quite a few people do listen to this show, believe it or not, I am hard on him because I expect perfection. The guy, this kid who moved all the way from Connecticut to work with me 3.5 years ago, and he is dedicated to the network, and that's what I love about him. He puts his time, his effort into it. The only problem that I have with the great Speedy Petey is sometimes I wonder if he listens. I mean, seriously, it's a lot of people. It's not just Speedy. Here at the network, the worldwide, we've got about 25 different guys that work on our network from all different parts of the country. And I talk to all of them. I have a group message, and I have my conference calls with them. And sometimes, even today, we had a show go on our network in Austin. A shout out to Austin. I'm not taking shots at him on live radio, but I'm just going to say the truth. I've been telling him when we go on our live stream to hit the play button so we go live on the audio stream. He hit the record button. He's been hitting the record button for 3 weeks. For 3 weeks, his audio live was not going live on our audio stream. And I didn't even know it. And then he tells me today, after 3 weeks, oh, I thought you had to hit this. You see what I'm talking about, Gabe? I'm going to lose my voice one day. It's not only that I have to sit back and run this shenanigans. I had to see some of my producers just wonder if they have their head up their ass. So Yes, I am hard on Speedy because I expect the best from Speedy.
Sounding like my dad.